What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man, Cam. This is week 328 of this iteration of the Voice of the Fans podcast. And for that, you guys ought to give yourselves a round of applause for being with us and sticking with us that long. Cleveland, I thought he had a heat wave yesterday. I thought there was a heat wave yesterday. It broke. It was getting close to 60 degrees. I was surprised. Did you enjoy the weather?
That was beautiful. Sunny skies. No frost on the ground. It was amazing.
No frost on the ground. That's what we call it. That's where we at. When we say it's beautiful weather. No frost on the ground. That's where we at.
That's where we're at, bro.
Fans, it's been a wild couple of weeks, but it's been a wild weekend, a wild busy weekend. Got a lot of content posted on the Voice of the Fans YouTube page. A lot of interviews from your favorite Hoopers, Cleveland. I even got a meme from Kevin Durant. We're gonna get into your favorites of the NBA All-Star Weekend because I know you were riveted, set in your seat, and caught every moment of TNT's broadcast on All-Star Saturday night and All-Star Sunday. Did you watch the Rising Stars game at all? Or did you watch the celebrity game? Which one did you watch on Friday night?
Oh, boy. I probably tuned in for a little bit for all of those games, but you have to understand, Cam, it's a celebration. It's a party.
For some reason, I got a feeling we're going to hear that theme carry on through the rest of the topic. Fans, I want to just get the show started like this. Give us a few minutes, and here you go. Enjoy the intro.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting them.
I got some of this for you.
Goodness. For me?
Yeah, just for you.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter, the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about the type of
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do knowing that.
surprised at that, Cam.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
If you haven't told your girlfriend about the show, tell her about the show. If you haven't told your boyfriend about the show, tell him about the show. If you haven't told your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather about the show, let everybody know about the Voice of the Fans podcast.
Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
Once again, thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. We got a couple games that we play. The numbers game at the beginning of the show, Cleveland. We got a This Week in History segment, and then we're going to end the show with a quote for you guys. But Cleveland, when you think of the number 19, who wore that jersey number the best, or who can you mark first?
Cam, what comes to mind first is, the great Lenny Wilkins up here in the
Lenny Wilkins, wow.
206 area playing and coaching for the Seattle Supersonics. So it comes to mind quite readily. And who probably wore it the best is probably Tony Gwynn.
Okay, Tony Gwynn, Bernie Kosar, doesn't come to mind. Their careers were about the same, weren't they? I mean, weren't they? I mean, Tony Gwynn was he in the World Series? Bernie Kosar, as good as he was,
He was. He was in the World Series, and Bernie Kosar took a knee playing for the Dallas Cowboys one time, and got some ring for that. But, no, I don't believe that he ever won any major awards.
okay. Well, after he left the University of
Actually,
Miami.
he wasn't even wearing number 19 when he did that. So.
Oh, well, okay. Um, and when you think of the number 28, who wore that jersey number the best, or who wore that the best, or who come to your mind first?
Who comes to mind first is the incredible running back known as Adrian Peterson. Probably who wore it the best, from a statistic standpoint, is probably your guy Marshall Faulk.
A statistic standpoint. That's funny. That's funny. You say a statistical standpoint. I'm willing to bet most people, even some in Adrian Peterson's family, will say Marshall Faulk was a better running back. I'm willing to bet. I mean, that's
But they don't. If they really are watching those two running backs, Adrian Peterson was ridiculous.
I don't think Adrian Peterson came off the bench and ran for 396. I don't think he did that. I could be mistaken because he did at one point hold the
came off the bench 396. What are you speaking on?
When Marshall Faulk came off the bench and ran for 396 yards. I don't think
run for 396 yards. What are you speaking on? In like a single game?
In college football at the San Diego State University. Check the tape. Check the stats.
Oh well, yeah, maybe not in college football, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the National Football League. So.
I mean, is Adrian in the Hall of Fame?
We'll be soon.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Cleveland, it was an interesting weekend, man. Thank you for answering the questions, though, by the way. Fans, I got to give Cleveland an apology. Last week, if you stayed into the show, I have to apologize to Mr. Cleveland. So please, I need my sound machine so I can get myself on a laugh track. But not taking the show as seriously as Cleveland takes the show. And I appreciate having Cleveland on the show each and every week. Thank you, sir. As we continue, Cleveland, I want you to tell me your thoughts on the NBA All-Star Weekend. I'm more than willing to share my thoughts and my experience down there in San Francisco this past week, experiencing the NBA All-Star Weekend. I mean, the police and the security guards really took up too much space in Chase Center. Oh, my goodness gracious. You would have thought Adam Silver was Donald Trump. As many securities and the security measures they were taking with this guy. And just, oh, my goodness, the block closing of the streets. I mean, traffic is already bad enough in San Francisco. It's already bad enough. It's already traffic around the stadium is. I don't know if those of you who've been to Chase Center, in downtown San Francisco, traffic is already horrible. The parking, just forget about it. But the blocking of the streets, that blocking streets off for no reason at all. I mean, there's no reason. You got half of the security guards there. Everybody on your security staff is former police agents or former law patrol, so there's no problem with the security. There were just too many of them. Is just my complaint. And again, like I'm saying, you're blocking off the streets for nothing, for no reason at all. It's Cleveland. I just couldn't understand it. Outside of that, Cleveland, how did you experience? Did you tune in to the All Star Weekend? A lot of people said it was blah. A lot of people, considering a couple years ago there was a 200 to 212 to 91. Like some people didn't even care to see that, didn't tune in at all. Did you tune into the All Star Weekend?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Cameron. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be: a celebration and a showcase of top tier NBA talent with a lot of entertainment interjected here and there, and I think it definitely delivered with regards to that.
Oh, you did you? So there was one thing that we noticed, and again, fans, if you guys want to check out some instant reaction, I got instant reaction from a lot of players, a lot of the participants. Before the game, we had a chance on Saturday morning go to Oakland Arena and talk to a lot of. Somehow I missed Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards. I missed him on Saturday morning. We're going to get into LeBron, who wanted to just have his own show, his own party for whatever that was. We're going to get into that one a little later. But I missed Kevin Durant that Saturday morning, but I talked to Jason Tatum. I talked to Jaylen Brown. We talked to Kyrie. Talked to a lot of other players. I actually got the chance to talk to Victor Wembanyama. A lot of those interviews are uploaded right now on voiceofthe.fans.org, or excuse me, Voice of the Fans YouTube page, so you can check out some of those interviews that we conducted, Cleveland. But the way they had to set up was for Saturday night. Like I had my seat, but my seat was in the 100 level, if you will. So, but every participant of the skills challenge, for example, they sat out there until the skills champion was determined, and then those who did not win the skills challenge were immediately available for media availability. But they walked off the floor, they walked right into the media room. So it didn't, and that's how they did that for the 3-point shooting contest and the dunk contest. So it didn't make any sense to go back up to the seats and then come back down each time they had at the end of the event. So I essentially stayed under the bowels of the stadium, watching the events on a monitor. I could hear the crowd, but I was just watching the events on the monitor. So I didn't see, I certainly wasn't at home watching it. What I can tell you is that what I remember and what I expected, part of the reason I elected to stay down instead of going up and watching it from my seats, was that in between events, in the TV, the timeouts, there wasn't much going on, and there was wasn't much entertainment in the arena. This time, I know this year, they had a lot of entertainment during TV timeouts, during your commercials. There was stuff, they were throwing shirts, they was inviting people from the audience into the crowd, onto the floor. Kevin Hart was there to do his thing on Sunday. That was Sunday night. But they kept it entertaining on that Saturday night for people inside the building, which I wasn't expecting that. But what we noticed inside the building, especially Saturday night, is that there was a long time. It seemed still, even though it was Saturday night, there was a long time between activities. Did it seem like that on TV? Did you, from watching it, it seemed like it was a long time between activities?
No, not so much. I mean, with all of these events, it seems like, they're carried out much longer than they need to be. But at the same time, it seems like it's just part of the program. So I think the lull and the delay is probably something that you'll feel a little bit more if you're right there, front and center, adverse watching it on television. Because the other caveat of watching it on television is that there are commercials in between those things. So
yeah,
if there's no commercials, then all that dead air is just it's just dead air. So no, didn't really feel it too much. I mean, Not any more than any other production that kind of comes off like this, especially all-star events in any sport. So it's kind of par for the course, and it was what it was.
How did how did you guys hear about the Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama incident? How was that? Was that reported as them cheating, or we just heard they got DQ'd and there wasn't really an explanation of why they got?
Yeah, it was construed as cheating.
Victor just wanted to get his shots off quickly. Is how I understand it.
I'm not here to defend anybody. I mean, again, it's an all-star game, Cameron. It's a showcase of the greatness of the NBA and the NBA players. A few carnival games thrown in there, and then a little exhibition, and they go home.
Tyler Hero winning the 3-point contest. Were you surprised by that?
Very much so. I thought Dame Dollar was going to come out with it, and if not, Buddy Hield is kind of his calling card. Even though I'm not a big Buddy Hield fan, so
Buddy Hield shot his wad and quickly. He just couldn't. It was too soon. The response was too soon. the coming back was way too soon because he was ice cold the second time around. Okay, so what about the dunk contest? Did that meet your expectations? Did it meet your Matt McClung? You good with Matt McClung coming in out of the G League and dunking? Well, what do you think there?
If the NBA is okay with a marginal, and I don't know if you want to even call him an NBA player, he signs several 10-day contracts. Ironically, right before the slam dunk contest to even be eligible to slam dunk. But the fact that he's won multiple slam dunk contests is great. Do I think he's one of the greatest dunkers of all time? Not even close.
Well, he did jump over the car. Now, this wasn't no Blake Griffin jump over the car. This was jump over the roof of the car. And I mean, okay, he caught the foot, but for the most part, he jumped over that car. You got to give him credit for that, right?
For sure. Again, that's not what I said. What I said is he does not go down in the annals of time as one of the greatest dunkers of all time.
I don't know how I feel about Matt McClung being the dunk champion. Like, I don't know how I feel. How do you feel that Ja Morant tweeted Mac is going to make him come out of enter the dunk contest? If we got to go through Mac McClung consecutive championships, dunk contest championships to get Ja Morant and Zion Williamson in it, then it'd be all worth it. Would you agree?
They're not getting into it. They're just stirring the pot. They're not getting into it.
Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo responded and said that responded to Ja Morant and said, "If you do it, I'm doing it." And then Giannis later said he was hacked. Giannis is a funny dude.
Giannis Antetokounmpo was 30 years old and misses multiple games for various reasons, so he's not getting into the dunk contest.
Oh, so you're not buying them?
No.
They're lying like LeBron did to everybody. Like LeBron teased everybody.
Yeah.
So All-Star Saturday night, it was just a weird experience just because I didn't see it. I was there, but I didn't see it. that makes it weird. Like, I saw the stuff that was happening. I didn't get to see it and break it down. I have my notepad, if that makes sense to you. Well, we did get to speak to the players. So if you guys want to check out some pre and post game interviews, you can see all the pre and post game interviews on Voice of the Fans YouTube page. Now let's talk about the game on Sunday. You said last week, Cameron, it's a celebration. You said it again today. They're bringing out the heavy hitters. I knew instantly as soon as I saw Kevin Hart had no business being there. Let me say that. He had no business being on the floor with a mic in his hand. Let me say that. Now, I've heard a lot of feedback of how his role in this, but again, because I was my location, I wasn't able to. I didn't absorb. I saw Kevin Hart, but I didn't hear Kevin Hart. If that makes sense. Um, what did you think of the? Did you need Kevin Hart? Did you have too much Kevin Hart in your life, or was that just the amount you needed?
Oh, Cam, whatever brings the eyeballs to the celebration of the talent of the NBA. More power to him, man. Bring whoever you can get to come out and do that.
You think they needed Kevin Hart to bring eyeballs to the NBA?
Oh yeah, Kevin Hart gives the NBA legitimacy for sure, especially in a certain demographic.
Kevin Hart gives the NBA legitimacy.
Yeah.
You just started watching the NBA this 2010? Man, I think the NBA was
hardcore NBA fan, but what I'm saying is that what you seem to keep, failing to realize is that this is not some serious competition. It's a party, and the players are coming out to kind of showcase, shoot around a tad bit, play some carnival games, 3-point, skills competition, dunk, okay, and then play a little bit of hoop for a little bit. Oh, okay, we're done. Thank you. Good night. You still want it to be like they're serious about this, and they're never going to be that ever again.
Okay, all right. See. Okay, so did you on Sunday? Did you watch Team Shaq against the Team Candace, the G League team? No,
yeah, I watched all that stuff. It was cool.
So if you saw Team Shaq playing against it, they was actually playing defense. There was actually some fouls and some defense going on, where we hadn't seen that in years past. Did you like the new format where there was the 4-team tournament? Did you like the new the format or no? Not really.
Yeah, it's cool. But I mean, let's just get straight to what we've been talking about for several years on the cast. Is let's get to the USA versus the world and let's be done with it. And even then, it's not going to be as competitive as you would like, Cameron, because that's not what this is. This All-Star Weekend, but it will be more competitive than it has been in the past.
Well, yeah, I'm convinced that people want to see competition. That's why we tune in to see some competitiveness. I mean, was Sunday's game better than the 212-91 game or 191?
Depends on how you feel about it. I mean, if you think that you're going to bring some type of they were playing much harder and cared much more than the year before, I don't think so.
You don't think they cared a whole lot more? Okay, that's fair enough. One of the prevailing, before we get into the LeBron, well, let's talk about the LeBron of it all. Cleveland, I thought I was being pranked. First of all, everybody had a press conference and media availability that Saturday morning. LeBron didn't show. Then it was later told that LeBron will have his own press conference Sunday before the game. Okay. So now it's about 50 reporters in the room waiting to talk to LeBron. It's supposed to have been at 3:20. LeBron comes to the stage at 3:50 and announced that he's not playing. Shout out to Dave McMenamin, who's been on the show, who asked him, how much. Essentially, the question was, what should we expect from you? How much effort should we expect from you? Or excuse me, how many minutes should we expect from you on Sunday or in this game? And LeBron said, "Oh, you're not going to get any minutes from me. I'm not playing." Like literally it's 3:50. So the game starts at 5:00. So literally an hour and 15 minutes before the game starts. What do you think of that, Cleveland?
Well, ironically, Cameron, I'm surprised that you have a problem with this because you have always been one that says LeBron is one that is an attention hog and wants a spotlight on him at all at all times. And the mere fact that he's not going to get out there in Oakland and play must mean that there's something really seriously going on. He prioritizes, the health of his body over playing in an exhibition game.
Okay. All right. So he's prioritizing the health of his body. You know who else announced that he would not be playing in the 74th NBA All-Star game?
Who else is that, Cameron?
That's Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
But you know what Giannis did? Giannis put on the uniform, took the team photo in uniform, and not trying to separate himself from the rest of the All-Stars in the game. Giannis also let the NBA know that he wasn't going to be playing when he got his nomination. So that allowed the NBA to add Kyrie Irving or Trae Young, who take his spot in the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron acknowledged that he wasn't going to play and let the NBA know, maybe Norman Powell gets in the All-Star game. Maybe Domantas Sabonis gets in the All-Star game and gets to play, and they can use that Team Shaq can use that roster spot. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, they were not. LeBron let them know when he felt that he wasn't going to be able to go.
An hour before the game, so he didn't know until an hour before the game that he wasn't going to be able to make it.
He just didn't feel right. He decided it wasn't a good thing, given the fact that the Lakers are trying to win a championship. So.
70 minutes before the game, you're good with that?
I'm good with it. I mean, again,
you always call the face of the league.
You always refer to LeBron James as an attention whore, and that he's always just want all eyes on him. So
was that not the move?
At an All-Star game, but he wasn't physically capable of doing that. So sorry I didn't fit your timeline for when he needs to let you know. He let you know when his body let him know.
The 70 minutes before the game, his body didn't say anything before that.
Apparently no.
Oh man. So one of the prevailing questions, during our media availability and throughout the Saturday and Sunday, there was a few stupid questions. But one of the prevailing questions, which I found was interesting, is the talk of the NBA playing one-on-one competition like the Rivals did last week. The female basketball league. Did you see that? Did you see their one-on-one competition? So the talk is they played a one-on-one, and then a lot of the talk was what they played a one-on-one. What the guys like to play a one-on-one. And there was a lot of guys that said, KD said, yeah, he want to see who's playing in the first. Anthony Edwards said, yes, he'd absolutely play. The three-point, Tyler Hero, the three-point champion, said, yeah, he'd win and nobody's going to beat him. Tyler Hero's arrogant. I didn't know that. I guess you have to be to get to some level, but Tyler Hero is pretty full of himself, and I had no idea that he was as full of himself, but he's pretty full of himself. Tyler Hero is. But yeah, he said he would compete and he'd certainly win it. I was like, oh, okay. Do you think we would see a 1-versus-1, a one-on-one competition with NBA stars?
No, it's a team game, and that those type of interactions don't really prove anything.
Those type of interactions don't prove anything.
No, they don't prove anything.
So, if Reed Shepherd went out there and beat LeBron James 11-2, what are you gonna say? Oh, it's a team game. Those things don't prove anything. Is that what you're gonna give us?
No, that's never going to happen. So I'm not getting into the whole hypothetical with you. One-on-one competition with players that are, judging their performance in a team game, yeah, doesn't mean anything.
Wow, that's a different response than. I mean, I would have. That's a different response than any player. I had not heard one player say that all weekend long. It's a team game. That's not anything. That's an interesting take, though. One of the amidst the myriad of questions, it was kind of weird to look at these players, and they would answer a question. You've been in the scrum before, Cleveland, and they have their chair and the mic in front of them, and they have a gaggle of reporters around them, and all the reporters are trying to get their question answered. Like I said, you've been in that situation before. It's kind of weird to see the response from some of the players, like, gee whiz, just feeling bombarded by questions. But one of the good questions and bad questions, I like to think I always ask a good question. But one of the questions, Cleveland, I only put this down is because I could not answer, and I still have not come up with the answer to this question. I think it was kind of silly, but that's what you want to get the guys to do. Is what is the NBA equivalent to the tush push, Cleveland?
There's no NBA equivalent.
That's what I'll say. There's not really an equivalent, is there? There's not. I mean, the sky hook, but you can't. I mean, if there's a defender there, it's not guaranteed. But this guy, for as clutch as the sky hook was, it's still not 100%. And the tush push has to be around 85%, right? Effectiveness.
I think it's quite a bit higher than that. Yeah.
Okay, but I just could. The girl was asking everybody, "What is the quote?" I just couldn't think. I was like, "There really isn't one." It made you think, but I was just like, "There really was no answer to this question." And the question that irked the crap out of me. I wanted to tell this lady something, but in Kyrie Irving, she asked Kyrie this question, and Kyrie is like, "I think you need to reevaluate your question." Because he was right though. The girl asked, "Who is the most influential black athlete?" And if she just said most influential athlete, and just left it at that, that'd been fine. But she kept asking who's the most influential black athlete. It was annoying to me. But Kyrie actually was like, "Yo, you need to reevaluate your question. It's not." We probably just want to be called people and not, specifically identified as that. But it was just a weird question. And then obviously, the answers. I'm sure you can guess the answers that they were given. But the question to me was annoying. And another annoying question we got that was, I was surprised at how many people picked up and kind of stole this question. One person the girl asked it a couple times, but then people kept stealing her question, and I heard this for 2 days. Who is the face of the league in 5 years? Like, they're asking the players that question, and that was the most. And we're talking about, okay, we're not talking to. For the most case, just the NBA All-Star game. So there's players are there who's participating in the All-Star game, right? So we're talking about the best 12 players in the league, 12 to 15 players in the league, right? I expected more players to say me than actually did. Anthony Edwards said, "I'll be the best player. I won't be the face of the league." A lot of people put it on Wemby, Luka. A couple of people say Jokic, but I was just surprised at how I didn't think that would be a very interesting question, Cleveland. What about you? Was I wrong in that one?
Well, a couple of things, Cameron. It's not any different than when they ask people that have just gotten drafted in the first round and realized all of their hopes and dreams that they grew up playing basketball about. And they ask them, "Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?" like 20 seconds after they just said that the number 3 pick in the draft is, where do you see yourself for the next 10 years? Like, I hadn't thought it through that far just yet. Same thing when you talk about being the face of the league, because everybody understands the responsibility of that and they have anxiety about it. The really, truly great ones, they say, yeah, it'll be me. Kobe would say, yeah, it'll be me. Mike would say, yeah, it'll be me.
Right.
And if you don't, then it means you just don't want to deal with the burden of that responsibility. If you really truly think you are that dude, and if you're not, then if you don't think that, then you have a little bit of trepidation to answering that question.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it's a lot of trepidation. I'm gonna play you something. I'm gonna play you fans something. If you guys haven't seen the video by now, I'm gonna play this a portion of this video. But so, what have you and I established about Kevin Durant some years ago?
A lot of things. What are you speaking about in specific?
About his I want to say lack of. I don't want to say his unwillingness to be a leader on his team. He just wants to be a hooper. He just wants to go play hoop, and that's it. If he could just go open up the gym at 7:30 in the morning and play to 7:30 at night, that's all he wants to do. Don't ask him to do anything else. Don't ask him to sweep the floor. Don't ask him to mop the floor. Don't ask him to bring towels. Don't ask him to bring water. Don't ask.
No. You're talking about ancillary things. No, what you don't want him to do is motivate everyone, follow his lead, play lockdown defense, that kind of stuff. And it's the exact same thing that I've been saying about why Carmelo Anthony gets such a bad rap. It's because he has to do all those things he never told you he was going to do. What he told you is that when he shows up in the gym, you can write down with a Sharpie black pen 28 points. And that's all that he really actually wanted to do. When you ask him to be the face of the franchise, mentor the younger players, show up and lead by example, never told you he was going to do any of those things. And when you put that on him, it was heavy. Same thing with Kevin Durant.
No, I'm not comparing Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony.
It's a perfect analogy. You could do
that with somebody. You could do that with somebody else. You could do that with somebody else.
No.
I'm not.
You started out with all these other things that Kevin Durant, people want him to do that he's not good at and can't do. Same thing.
I'm not.
Same thing.
I don't approve that message.
Why? So why is it so different when I say Kevin Durant?
Much totally different players. Yeah, I think Kevin Durant, if I'm not mistaken, is a multi-time champion. If I'm not mistaken. But here, this is what I want to do.
He's won the championship 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
but I'm so confused. What did you start out with? People are asking Kevin Durant to do things that he's not good at and should never really be asked to have that responsibility. Right?
It's similar. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm not allowing you to put Kevin Durant in Carmelo Anthony's. What's been up, Boots? Nice to hear from you, man. Thanks for tuning in. So here, I'm going to play this video. And I didn't have it queued up, fans, so forgive me. I might have to move it around a little bit. But I just wanted to hear you. I want you to hear Kevin Durant's. I'm going to ask Kevin Durant about playing one-on-one. And then I'm going to give you a follow-up question. And then I want you to gauge your response on the follow-up question. All right, so listen to this. Can you hear it, Cleveland?
No.
You cannot hear it?
No.
What do I need to do for you to hear that? Oh, I know what I need to do. Okay. I'm sorry. Bear with me, fans. I got it. I gotta play it off my computer. I gotta play it off my computer. Okay, excuse me. All right, we're talking about Kevin Durant. Let me pull up this video, fans. I got you right here. I was trying to play it off YouTube. I gotta play it off my computer. Let me get to it. But the response is, I mean, this is a meme right now. This should be a meme right now. If I should have sent this to you already. But it's all good. I got it right here. Okay, so I got
what's your feeling for having been dealing with Stephen Curry in San Francisco?
City, I'm sorry.
So, what's your feeling for having
Can't see it, bro.
I know. I'm working on it.
The whole weekend was cool. The Bay Area came out and showed major love. And it's always good to reunite with some of my former teammates, James, Kyrie, Steph. It was good to be on the floor with them. It was cool stuff out there.
Can you hear this?
So, good weekend overall.
KD, you look at the play.
Okay, so you can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here again, I just want to. It's a pretty lengthy interview. It's about 6 minutes long. But I just want to play the last part where I asked him about playing in the country.
And we're just saying it with the women down there at Unrivaled, how that looked on TV.
Okay, so I already asked. I asked him the question. I'm asking the question right now.
So yeah, I think he'd be a great coach.
KD, a lot of your colleagues talked about playing the one-on-one in a All-Star series. Is that something you'd be interested in playing?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably so.
I was going to ask you, what was your hesitant? Why are you hesitant to answer?
I just want to see who else is in it. I'm sure that's been tossed around though in the NBA offices, a one-on-one tournament. And we're just saying it with the women down there at Unrivaled, how that looked on TV. It's pretty cool to watch that. So you never know, man. We never thought we would see a tournament in All-Star Weekend either. So anything is up in the air. I think Adam and those guys have been doing a great job of just pushing the envelope, trying to be creative, trying to reignite All-Star Weekend. So that might be a solution.
You got a voice, though. So I think.
I don't feel like talking though.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Do I need to play that again?
No.
I think that was so poignant. I think that was so poignant right there about him, and it explains his whole career. So I've been banging him. So to your point, I've been banging on Kevin Durant for not being a leader. Kevin Durant is a much better player than Carmelo Anthony. That's why I'm not allowing you to put him in the same category. Kevin Durant has 30,000 points. How many points does Carmelo Anthony has?
28, 29.
Not in the same category, okay? So I'm not allowing you to what's up, Blue?
Carmelo Anthony is on the top 10 scorers in the history of the national basketball. So.
What is both of your favorite NBA All-Star game? Probably the All-Star game when Magic came back was 92. I mean, there was a lot of gifting in that game. That was probably the one that may not have been my favorite, but the one that sticks in my head the most. So that was 92 before he went off to the Olympics. And Woody scored 35 points that game. That probably the one that sticks out the most. But they used to be competitive from the early 80s to the late 90s. They were all competitive.
My man, I'm a date myself a little bit, but for me, it's this one right here at the Kingdom, 1987, with my dad. saved up, ponied up to get his tickets to go. It was super spectacular. Seattle
was Tom Chambers the MVP?
I was just going there. So Seattle Supersonic player Tom Chambers was the MVP of the game. However, in order to get to overtime, Rolando Blackman on the Western Conference.
Oh, we hit the free throws to win the game.
Yeah, Boots, you holler, you feel me? Had to hit 3 free throws to send the game into overtime, and Madge was in his ear after every free throw, and he hit all 3 to send it in overtime in Seattle. That's my favorite. One of my top 5 sports moments of all time.
Okay, so you got it in one of your top 5 sports moments. Was Tom Chambers?
Me personally, not that ever happened, but just that I was able to.
Sure. Yeah. I mean that makes it a great sports moment. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that was competition. So Cleveland, you just
that was almost 40 years ago. No.
Is it competition? Is it competition? Is it guys playing? Is it guy playing full quarters? Is it?
They don't do that anymore. I'm not going to go down any path with you about this, man. They're not playing hard anymore.
The fan just asked you about your favorite All-Star game.
Right.
Okay.
And it was when I was 14 years old when the players were making like $260,000 a year. They don't do that no more, man. I'm not gonna go down this.
The basketball players the game that you identify as your favorite game was a game that went into overtime because the guys were competing. But you can't expect the guys to compete today. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm sorry that you don't. The game has evolved apparently past you. Because you think that these guys are gonna be out here, scrapping, slapping the court and, playing, lockdown defense. That's just not a thing anymore.
What's up, Barry?
Barry?
Up? Nice, thank you for tuning in. Nice to hear from you fellas again. Man, Cleveland, that's funny how you identify one spectacular event because it was a top 5 sporting event in your lifetime, and you're afraid to say, I demand that these guys play up to this standard.
I'm not afraid to say that. I absolutely unequivocally will not say that because the game has evolved past that. That's not what the All-Star game is anymore. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you can't let those memories go.
Oh, I can't let these memories go.
Yeah, you can't. You want to be out there playing all super hard. I mean, have you noticed that even in the regular season they don't play as hard as you want them to play in the All-Star game?
I want to see some
competition. Really don't, Cameron. They're just scrimmaging to get ready for the playoffs.
Oh, is that it?
And you want the All-Star game to be like super impactful. Why?
Well, I want it to be USA versus World, so the world can smack.
They can hurt themselves and break their bones to play for one game.
I'm not sure.
That makes no.
Again, I was in the building. I was in the building. I wouldn't see the live telecast. But did anybody get hurt in the Shaq versus Candace Parker's team?
Nope. You want to know why?
Did anybody get hurt? But they were competing though. The rookie, the veterans didn't lose to those guys.
What do you want, man? What is it that you want?
I said. My bad. My bad, fans. Yeah, we froze up, man. Yeah, we froze up. My bad, fans. But we're talking about competition in the All-Star game. Cleveland doesn't believe it's a thing anymore. He believes that I should give up on expecting them to be competitive. Do you guys agree that we should give up on competition in the All-Star game?
The All-Star game is a party. It's a 4-day party. There's no All-Star game where people are just trying to win at all costs, man.
Nobody said win at all costs. We expect them to compete.
Days of Sean Taylor knocking the daylights out of punters and
that was a Pro Bowl. That was a Pro Bowl, but
and people staring each other down after dunks and playing super duper hard. Those days are over. They're never returning. You're never going to see an uber competitive game ever again.
Okay, so I see. I think you totally glossed over the fact that when you had the Rising Stars playing against Shaq's team, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, that they weren't competing. They didn't want to lose to those guys, so they came out strong and try to beat them up. Go figure, Boots. Go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure.
In addition to that, Cameron, how many of those players were truly all-stars? None of them.
Well, that's a different topic. But I was the whole.
So that's
thing,
why they were playing so hard, Cameron, because they don't know no better. They're just happy to be there. And I'm gonna get off on Kevin Durant. Cut that out, man. We're at a party.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
All right, Boots, I hear what you're saying, but
still has some integrity.
You probably don't remember this, but there was a time when a guy named Pete Rose came around third base running as fast as he could in an all-star game and separated somebody's shoulder running into home plate. And that was never, ever the same.
So who do you blame?
That level of competition was in the 70s, man.
So do you?
That level of competition was in the 80s, man. You don't do that anymore in an all-star game. It's a show. It's a showcase. There's nothing competitive about it.
So you sound like you're totally okay with 212 to 91 or 191. It sounds like
depending on who's doing it, yeah.
Get out of here, man. Okay. Cleveland still doesn't think that we should expect any competition in the All-Star game.
But it's not the level of competition that you're looking for. That's never going to happen.
I'm looking for you guys to be competitive.
I know. You're looking for they should be practicing like 2:00 in the morning instead of going.
No, we don't need all that. We need competition
so that the All-Star game looks better for you.
We have the best players out there, the best athletes in the world,
and they do the best they can. They
show a little heart, show a little competitive spirit.
Disagree.
That's what I expect. Okay. Cleveland, what's the top storylines heading to the second half of the season here?
For me, the number one storyline is, will the Philadelphia 76ers make the playoffs, and if they're going to shut down Joel Embiid to have surgery to get ready for next season?
Can Sixers make the playoffs? You think that's the biggest story?
Oh, without question, yeah.
Really? Okay. I got a bigger story than that, but okay.
What do you got, Cameron?
I mean, I just want to hear your list. I'll give you my list. You know I have it ready. What else you got?
How Luka and LeBron are going to coexist.
There you go. That's story number one. That's story number one right there.
I think they'll be just fine. I mean, at some point, I think it will take,
there's only 30 games left now. How long you want it to take?
Is Anthony Davis going to be healthy? Have we seen the last of Zion Williamson? I mean, questions like that are kind of like ancillary, but I question whether the Philadelphia 76ers are going to make the playoffs.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's. You question whether I don't think that's even a question anymore. What have you seen from any of those guys outside Tyrese Maxey that that gives you confidence that they will make a run? Because they're going to have to make a run. They're going to have to make it like a 25.
I'm not confident about any of it. That's the main question. And again, it all depends on Joel Embiid's health. But we all know that on one leg you can go out and get you 50. So
well,
yeah, he actually did that last year.
Well, they're an 11th seed. They're behind Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, Orlando.
That's why it's the biggest story going into the second half of the season.
I'm not expecting much from them. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
I'm not expecting. They're an 11th seed now, 20-34. They're 37% winning percentage, and you want me to think about them getting in the playoffs? I'm sorry, I can't do it. I don't see them going on a run. No, I don't see anything from anybody on that team, as I just mentioned, other than Tyrese Maxey getting hot or trying to will this team to the playoffs. They can't do it. Tyrese Maxey can't do it alone. The Eastern Conference is better than we anticipated coming into the season. I mean, Cleveland's got the number 1 record. Boston, New York, the Pacers. Can the Pacers stay there? Milwaukee has fought there. They started off just like Philadelphia 76ers did. We're trying to figure it out, working through some initial issues earlier in the season. Now they're 5th seed, 5 games over 500. Pistons aren't really sliding. Orlando, we're looking for your boy. Orlando is 4-6 in their last 10 games. We're looking for Orlando to get on Paolo's hip and get right sooner than later. Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, I guess you can't. Atlanta 26-29. Miami Heat 25-28. Chicago Bulls 22-33. But then you have in the 11th seed, you have the 76ers. They're like 6 games back behind. They're 6 games behind the Heat or behind the Magic right now. I just don't have any confidence in them making up that space. And not that Orlando, or it's not that the Hawks, the Heat, or the Bulls are. I have a lot of confidence in them, but they're 6 games behind the Heat or behind the Hawks, 6.5 game or 5.5 games behind the Hawks. And again, with Tyrese Maxey can go for 50 every night. I don't see him carrying the 76ers to the playoffs. Paul George, playoff P, he's having one of his worst careers of his year. Embiid, they just said he might need knee surgery again, right? I don't see it.
He will need knee surgery again. It's a matter of when he gets it done. Yeah,
I don't see it. I think obviously, as you mentioned Laker and Luka. What can this duo do? They don't have a big man. It's going to be offenses are going to be coming and playing the Lakers. Do we want to pick on LeBron? Do we want to pick on Luka? Do we want to pick on Austin Reeves? Excuse me. They have 3 people in their starting lineup that they're going to be picking on. How long can the Lakers stay alive with that type of with that expectancy from their competition? They don't have a big man. Who are they going to stop? Can they? They're going to try to outscore people. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see that Laker LeBron or the Luka LeBron duo, but they're not going to be able to stop anybody, and they don't have a big man to help slow some people down. So if they're not winning 140 to 135, I don't know what to expect from them. I don't know what to expect from them. Right now, they are in 5th seed, in the 5th seed in the Western Conference. Can they hold on to that 5th seed? I don't know. Well, I don't know. But they are 8-2, so they last in their last 10 games. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Can the Mavericks? Is AD going to be healthy enough in that match? That if AD was healthy, that Mavericks duel of AD and Kyrie, that gets really interesting. Like that really gets interesting because last time AD had a real point guard. Well, Kyrie's not the point guard of Rondo, but last time they made it to the Western Conference Finals, right? The last time Davis had a true point guard playing with them, I think they went to the finals in New Orleans. Am I mistaken? And then
Anthony Davis has won a championship. I think you forgot that he won a championship.
Well, I said the last time he didn't play with a true point guard though, but yes, he was.
So then he won a championship without a true point guard, but now he has like one of the top,
I mean, that bubble championship, that Mickey Mouse ring. I mean, the world took a break. They took 3 months off before they got back to playing basketball. So, I mean, a lot of people don't really count that championship.
And then everyone got back to playing basketball, right?
Not everybody. Not everybody. It was a selected
so
7 or 8 teams.
The Lakers got back to playing basketball?
No, it wasn't everybody. Everybody didn't.
I thought it was a league-wide thing.
No, everybody didn't go to the bubble.
Oh, so all the teams weren't.
All the teams did not go to the bubble.
playoffs?
Nope. All the teams did not go to the bubble. All the teams did not go to the bubble.
All the teams that were eligible to go to the bubble, given their standings, went to the bubble, right? Irregardless, Anthony Davis won a championship. And yeah, he's a championship caliber player. The question is simply his health and his availability.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. If AD is able to stay
healthy, a whole
healthy,
bunch of other things, and I clarified.
if he was able to stay healthy, that duel the Mavericks have is going to be pretty interesting
and be a contributor to what the Dallas Mavericks are trying to do. And again, depends on his health.
So Cleveland, we're more than halfway through the season, right? We only got teams roughly have 30 games left, right? You're familiar with that. Most teams in the NBA have like 39 done. Boots. Thank you, Boots. Cleveland doesn't want to admit that.
Oh, wow. Fraudulent. I don't know about fraudulent. I think everybody participated. Perhaps the situation wasn't, ideal, but you still had to play the games, right?
Cleveland. So we're about 30 games left.
Okay.
Approaching 75% of the season being completed.
Sure.
Do you have any faith in the Oklahoma City Thunder today?
To win a championship? No.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, Boots. Thank you, bro. Did you see that, Cleveland?
I saw that he said it was pickup basketball, but Boots, just because there wasn't any crowd in the stands doesn't mean they weren't trying to win a championship, man. Just so happened they had to be quarantined so that, they didn't spread the COVID virus all over the place.
You see him trying to justify this, Boots? You see him trying to justify this?
Were they not hooping? Anyways, I mean, everyone has their opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion. I just personally feel that everyone that was eligible got into the bubble, and, the Lakers just happened to ball out more than the other teams in the bubble. Won a championship.
So the Thunder, you have no faith in the Thunder, but we all know where I stand on OKC Thunder. I mean, are the Knicks a bigger story than the Cavaliers? Are the Cavaliers a bigger story than the Timberwolves? I think
Cavaliers are a bigger story than the Timberwolves, yes.
But do you have any faith in the Timberwolves? Or do you have any faith in the Cavaliers? So the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, the number one seed in the Western Conference, Cleveland has no faith in them, and this is running on now 2 months now of the season.
I guarantee you will not see an NBA Finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder as participants. Guarantee that.
Oh yeah, you don't think Adam likes that that duo, that matchup?
I got 5 pounds on it. That will not be what the NBA final says. How you feel about it?
Oh well, I'm not putting anything
You're
on it.
not putting nothing on it because you don't feel good about that at all.
Well, I like OKC in the finals, but I mean we already got something on that. Yeah. I like OKC in the finals, but
yeah. So
the Cavaliers
talking me to death like, oh well, you don't like the Cavaliers or the Thunder. Yeah, that's not gonna be the finals, man.
I'm just saying that these teams have been playing solid basketball.
And Cameron, what do I always say about solid basketball in the regular season?
You have to position yourself for the playoff
round.
Huh?
We'll see you in the second round.
Are you interested? Marchand Beauchamp for Kevin Porter Jr. Did that move the needle for you?
I'm not even going to answer that question, dude.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm not even going to answer that question. What kind of ridiculous question is that?
It's a legit. That was a trade that was just made. Wasn't just made, but it was a trade.
You just said there's 30 games left to get to sprint to the playoffs. And you're asking me about Beauchamp for Kevin Porter Jr. No, it does not move anybody's needle in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Time to get serious, man. It's time to put your hard hat on.
Does Ben Simmons to the Clippers?
Man, again, come on, man. Come on.
What? What? I didn't. This isn't a speculated move. This is a move that was made.
Ben Simmons going to the Los Angeles Clippers does not move the needle in any way, shape, form, or fashion with regards to how the playoffs will play out.
Does Ben Simmons get any run? How many points a game does Ben Simmons average? Can we do that?
7 points a game.
No, okay, let me take that back. Points is not what I was. How many minutes does Ben Simmons?
27 minutes a game.
You think he plays 27 minutes a game?
I mean, at the ceiling.
That means you think he's going to get some real playing time.
I mean, they'll try it initially, and then we'll see how he responds to it. But again, he's now in LA, and you know how easily he's distracted. So,
oh boy, Beauchamp. I don't know what the hell is Lawrence Frank thinking of it. I mean, they're Beauchamp and Kevin Porter Jr. are essentially the same player. Like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't get that one. But Kevin Porter Jr. in Milwaukee, do you like that?
Yeah, it makes no difference.
And so I had the Phoenix Suns is kind of my number 10 concern. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a concern, but I guess another good one is I'll put the Suns/Warriors, because what do you think Jimmy Butler does for the Golden State Warriors?
Man, he might get them into the playoffs, quite possibly, potentially.
Your guy Draymond says they're going to win the title this year. Do you agree with Draymond?
You know, I've long since stopped listening to Draymond Green and what he thinks.
They're number 10 seed right now, so they're in the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix is number 11. San Antonio is number 29. Interesting thing.
San Antonio, I'm so sorry, is number what?
Excuse me. What did I say? San Antonio is number 12. They're behind Phoenix, 23 and 29.
Okay.
Interesting conversation with the media from San Antonio. Apparently, Pop is not going to come back this year. Pop's still in. He talks to his coaches, but he's not in great shape. And Victor, they want to see Victor Wembanyama with a post move. They like to see him with a patented post move. And we talked about, I was interested to say. I mean, I was just chatting with some common media members, and again, I was with the Spurs, kind of the Spurs media team, if you will. It was about 4 guys. We were just chatting, and then they was like, "Yeah, it'd be nice to see if he had a post move." I was like, "Whoa, really? Was it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, get your big ass on the block and just all you need is a hook shot, man. All you need is a over the shoulder left, over the shoulder right. Take your pick, either one of them. Victor, get down on the blocks." But they felt that, and that was interesting to me. I didn't expect to hear that, like totally unprovoked. I didn't expect to hear that from the Spurs reporters, but it was. We had that conversation, and that's what they're thinking down there in San Diego or San Antonio. Excuse me. So that was interesting. So there's a lot of gossip going around, a lot of what do I say? Just a lot of thoughts being floated around in the air. But it was a good time to chat with a lot of players. If you guys want to see, again, the interviews I conducted with the players over the weekend, check out voiceofthefans.org on YouTube. You guys, there's a list. I still have more to post, but there's a nice, healthy selection of videos for you guys to check out. Voiceofthefans.org or Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Cleveland. Anything else that I miss about NBA that you want to touch on?
No, not so much. Other than expansion is going slowly because the sale of the Boston Celtics has not been finalized, and given the price tag that they're asking, it's kind of hard to really gauge when that will be finalized. So I think that anyone that is expecting expansion is probably like a year out at most.
More than that, and I wanted to ask Adam Silver that question at his press conference. I didn't get a chance to, and kind of raise a question with a couple people that I believe are in the know. We're probably 2 or 3 years out, because you're right. The Boston Celtics have to sell. They still have to deal with that team with the situation with the Minnesota Timberwolves. How that sale needs to be completed as well, though they have the buyers already in hand. That sale still needs to be completed before it approaches Adam Silver's desk. I actually talked to Joe Dumars, which I was like, Joe looked like William the Refrigerator Perry now. I don't know if you've seen Joe recently. Joe looked like the fridge. And I said, "Yo, Joe, man, what do you know? I know you're in the office there. What's going on? Has any talk about the Sonics crossed your desk?" He's like, "It has not crossed my desk. Not to say it's not happening. Not to say it's a part that is going to happen. It's not going to happen, but it has not crossed my desk." I'm like, okay, Joe, that's all I want to know. If it hasn't crossed your desk, I would say you're in the know. He's like, "Well, yeah, I just." He's like, I said, "Joe, what do you remember about playing up there?" He's like, "It's a great city, great basketball town." I was like, "Well, you need to work on getting the team back there." He's like, "Man, only so much I can do." So, but yeah, Joe's an interesting conversation with Joe Dumars. For those who don't know, 2-time back-to-back champion right there, Joe Dumars. And then the owner, speaking of Sonics, the owner is the mayor of Seattle. What was that little prank he pulled on the who was he talking to, the city council the other day? That was absolutely ridiculous. That he should be under investigation for that little prank he pulled, pulling out a basketball like I got a big announcement, pulls out a ball. I was just joking. Dude, I've been back to Seattle for 3 days, and that joke was like a turd in a punch bowl. I don't know who this dude is, but he might have messed up his constituency with that one. I don't know, but yeah, the Sonics might be a few years out still. Cleveland, we got some footballs, as we know, is a year-round topic. But some of the things that's happened there coming off the Super Bowl, what's the best spot for Aaron Rodgers, your guy?
I don't think there's a spot for him.
You don't think there's a spot for him?
No.
You're not bringing him back?
No.
All of a sudden, you don't want to see Joe in New York, huh?
Aaron Rodgers?
You're Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, you don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in New York. You're done.
Well, he's done with the Jets. I don't expect him to be playing quarterback for the Giants either. So, yeah, he's done in New York. And with regards to the rest of the league, I don't see a good fit for him.
What do you do with Minnesota hasn't made the decision yet, but what do you do with Sam Darnold? Would you rather have Sam Darnold or Aaron Rodgers?
I personally would rather have Aaron Rodgers, but depending on how close you think you are to a Super Bowl. But with regards to Sam Darnold, I think at least initially they'll franchise him.
Would you franchise Sam Darnold?
For sure.
All right, let's speed through this. Trevor Lawrence blocks a trade to the Steelers. You like that?
I wasn't aware that NFL players had no trade clauses in their contract. Does he have one?
No, I don't think he has no trade clause, but
he's just not. He's just not happy about the idea of potentially being traded to the Steelers.
Correct.
Okay, well, so what?
I mean, it's 75 in Jacksonville.
He fits great there in Pittsburgh.
It's 75 in Jacksonville right now. What's it in Pittsburgh?
I mean, that's okay, but it's not a football tradition in Jacksonville. Yeah.
What do you do with T. Higgins? Should the Bengals re-sign him? Try to re-sign him? Should they trade him? Should T. Higgins hit the? What do you do with T. Higgins?
You franchise him for a second straight season.
So you think there's a chance that the Bengals could strike gold with the trio, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase? That's why you do it?
Yeah, that's why you do it.
But you realize if you sign and trade them, don't sign them, you can probably sign a defensive cornerback or a safety, maybe a lineman.
You can do a lot of things with all of the salary implications with regards to signing T. Higgins, but I think what they're going to do is franchise him. You have to franchise either him or Hendrickson, and if you're picking between the two, they probably are more interested in signing Hendrickson long-term than T. Higgins.
You can't. You're not. They're similar to the Dolphins. You're not going to pay both of those receivers $30 million. Chase is going to make 35, closer to 36, 37 maybe. I don't know, man. I guess I sit down with Higgins to see what he's thinking, but more than likely, if he's up for it, I try to do a sign and trade. I'll sign you, but we also gonna have to trade you.
Yeah, I know you always wanted to be team friendly as opposed to player friendly. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's a good player.
If he'll go with for all that, yeah, man.
He's a good player. I know he's a valuable player. There's probably some
Cincinnati and how much goodwill he's fostered in the community and stuff, and how much his teammates like him.
I mean, they're already cash strapped, man, and it doesn't make sense. Like I told you that I don't believe the Dolphins deal is going to work. I don't believe.
Yeah, football players don't believe in making your problems other people's problems.
Okay, so Matt Stafford, what do you do with Matt Stafford if the Rams clearly don't want to re-sign him? He has 2 years left on his deal. Do you ask for a trade? Do you ask for?
No, they're bringing Brad. They're bringing Stafford back.
Well, I don't know. Sean McVay doesn't really leave breadcrumbs, or he doesn't try to taint the water if he ain't serious. You know what I'm saying? He'll.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. I don't see another alternative to running the Sean McVay system.
Man, come on.
No one waiting in the wings.
If you haven't learned by now that Sean McVay, really, you talking about the Shanahan believe they can plug and play? Mike Shanahan believe
nobody plugs and plays at quarterback. They plug and play at other position. Nobody plugs and plays at quarterback.
Sean McVay will plug and play anybody from the place kicker to the holder.
It's untrue.
Huh?
It's totally untrue. That's why he traded for Stafford in the first place.
No.
You don't plug and play at the quarterback position.
That's exactly what he did when he traded for Stafford. Let me go get this guy. I'll put him right and plug him right into my offense, and then let's go. You don't think that happened?
No. And you don't either.
What are you talking about? They wouldn't have a little.
They went and got Matt Stafford. They didn't go and get just Gus Farad to run my offense. I mean, what are you talking about?
You talk about he doesn't plug and play. I'm telling you, I just gave you an example of where he just got rid of his guy who took him to the Super Bowl.
You're talking about the number one pick in the draft, someone who's throwing for 5,000 yards in this league. That's not a plug and play. Plug and play is when you go get Gardner Minshew to be your quarterback because your system is just so extraordinary that if Gardner Minshew was running it, he could be successful. That's plug and play. When you go get Matt Stafford, you're going to get somebody that's been established in this league for quite some time, and you need an upgrade. It's not a plug and play, man.
He went and replaced Jared Goff, who just took him to the Super Bowl. He took him to the Super Bowl, a year prior to that? And, saw Matt Stafford on the beaches of, where they go, Cancun. And was like, yeah, why don't you come play a quarterback for me? And then all of a sudden, you're done. Done deal.
Don't agree.
Does Jerry Jones go all in this season?
No.
To answer your question, what's up, Baker, Namdi? Matt being a 3 is proof the dunk contest is dead. Well, yeah, you're right about that. I agree with you there. I don't disagree with that right there. He's not even being a legitimate NBA player. I think they should do something. They should get like a sponsor. Each player, if the players aren't going to dunk, maybe then have Giannis Antetokounmpo find a Greek dunker who's incredible and let him sponsor him in the NBA dunk contest, and then let Ja Morant get him a Memphis dunker or somebody he knows from South Carolina that's an amazing dunker. I mean, that's what they might as well do. If they're not going to be in it themselves, they might as well pick a dunker, sponsor them, and let's see who comes on with the best dunker, who has the best stuff. I mean, that's if they're not going to do it themselves, just go find somebody or let one of your boys go find somebody. I think. What do you think about that way, Cleveland?
Yeah, no, you can't just go find someone that has the same athleticism that you do. Kind of be like Aaron Gordon finding someone that can catch a spinning basketball off of a mascot.
No. I'm not asking them to find somebody who has their skill set. I'm just saying go find somebody.
Yeah, that's not their job. That's not their job or talent, Cameron.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They don't go scouting out other dunkers.
No, they can pay somebody to go do it if they're not going to do it themselves. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But did Jerry Jones go all in? And did you hear what Lawrence Taylor had to say about Micah Parsons?
I did not hear what Lawrence Taylor had to say about Micah Parsons. That should be interesting. What did he say?
What have I been saying about Micah Parsons?
What did Lawrence Taylor have to say about
Micah? Cut the microphone off. Focus on your team and stop podcasting.
Okay. Good advice from a 10-time All-Pro.
Yeah, this is the same thing I've been saying. podcast Parsons me to cut it out. Would you, if you're Jerry Jones? I mean, because they're going to run into Dak Prescott. I don't know if you know, but his cap is $90 million this year. As of right now, they're going to redo it, but as of today, it's $90 million. They're going to have to sign. They signed your boy, CeeDee Lamb. They took too long to sign him. He came in and then obviously got hurt. They're going to do the same thing with Micah Parsons. They're going to wait till the last deadline, sign him, and he's going to get hurt. Do you think they should trade Micah Parsons? What's that? You broke up on me. I couldn't understand you.
So that's an interesting question. Not 100% sure. Such a talent, I'm not sure that I would trade him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get a haul for him, but they're not going to win the Super. They're not in the Super Bowl contention next year. Trade him, spread that money around, get some other players. I think would probably be the best move. Myles Garrett demanded that he get traded last week. Do you trade Myles Garrett? What do you do with Myles Garrett if you're the Cleveland Browns?
I think he respectfully requested a trade. I don't think he demanded a trade. But given all that he's given to the franchise, if you're being nice, you will look around and see what's out there. If you're just being a shrewd NBA owner, and it's like, that's really cool that you would like to be traded. I'm so sorry that you're currently uncomfortable with your situation, but we have no intentions of trading you.
Do you think they should try to, considering what he's done there for the organization, do you think they should would you want to send him to Buffalo? Buffalo, I mean, so you're gonna send him to the NFC. Would you send him to Detroit?
I don't think that. Okay, so first and foremost, what he wants is to be traded to someone that has a chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, you have to ask, okay, what other picks do you have? Because I don't want to just be picking 28 to 32 in the first round.
Sure.
You know, I want to be like in the top 10 because I'm giving you a generational talent.
No, a number one pick overall, right?
So even if you're giving me 2 number ones and you're 31, 32, I'm just like, okay, well, 2 extra picks at the bottom of the first round from Myles Garrett, fastest player to, 100 sacks.
Okay, I mean, do you ask for you're not getting Gibbs? Do you ask for Amon Ra? Do you ask? I mean, maybe there's another player in there somewhere. I mean, like,
the Cleveland Browns are so dysfunctional. I don't even know if they could even request or put together a package that sounded even doable.
Oh my goodness! What's the best spot for Russell Wilson? Is Russell going to end up with his guy Pete?
Las Vegas to be Shador's mentor. If that's
hold
what.
on.
If that's
Hold
what
on.
Man.
To be Shador, you think Shador's going to fall? Well, he might fall. He might fall. What do you think?
All the projections have said he's going to follow the Raiders to 6. I don't know because the quarterback is the NFL is such a quarterback-driven league that he probably will, through whatever avenues take place, probably move up from there. But at present, he certainly should wait until after the draft is over to determine where his next home is going to be.
Russell Wilson, you mean?
Yeah.
So who's going to be the better quarterback? Cam Ward or Shador?
Cam Ward.
Cam went to a couple schools. Where'd he go before Miami?
I don't recall.
You snake. You snake. You got Cam Moore better than Shador, and you think Russell should wait till after the draft?
Yes.
You know what happened with him and Tomlin? They were talking so high of each other for a big part of the season.
Something going on with the audibles with him and the offensive coordinator. It went south.
Tomlin, I mean, that was so they were so seemed like a good match together.
At one point.
Interesting. All right, let's make this quick, Cleveland. We're gonna skip over our This Week in History. Let me touch on a couple things that happened in this history, Cleveland. Are you familiar with Joseph L. Spears III, Cleveland?
I am not familiar with Joseph L. Spears III.
He became the first black floor member and floor broker of the New York Stock Exchange. This was back in 1970, Cleveland. Do you recall? I don't recall this, oddly enough. Virginia House delegates voted unanimously to retire the state song, Carry Me Back to Old Virginia, which glorifies slavery. I don't recall that. Do you recall that situation?
Not in that area of the country, so no, not even a little bit.
Yeah, I was there in 97. I don't remember that at all. 2/21, 1965, Cleveland. El Hajj Malik El Shabazz was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem. What was his modern name or most known name?
Most people would know him best as Malcolm X.
Yeah, correct. On 2/19/1992, this African American director was the first to be nominated for Academy Award for his movie Boys in the Hood. Who was this director?
Cameron, that would be John Singleton.
February 18, 2006, Shawnee Davis became the first black man to win an individual gold medal in the Winter Olympics. What did he compete in? Which event did he compete in?
Shawnee was a speed skater, Cameron.
Shawnee was a speed skater. Who beat Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight boxing title in 1978?
1978, Cameron, that was Leon Spinks.
Oh, you do know some boxing, huh?
I know quite a bit of boxing.
You do know a little. What did you watch the Keyshawn Davis fight on Friday night?
I didn't.
He fought for his WBO lightweight championship.
Did he win?
He did win.
Good for him. Hopefully we'll see him more soon. Yeah.
Cleveland, this weekend we have Arturo Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol fight for the second time on February 22nd. Interested in seeing that fight.
Who won the last fight, Cam?
Beterbiev.
Okay. You see that fight?
I actually missed that fight, Cleveland.
That was a while ago. I mean, you've had a long time to watch it since then. Have you seen the fight?
I've seen highlights of it.
Okay, well, after you watch the fight, we'll talk again.
Are you watching the fight this weekend, though?
Nope.
Oh, you're not interested in seeing the rematch?
I'm not interested in seeing, the bureaucracy of boxing, on full display once again. No.
Shakur Stevenson fights his first fight for the Turk in Saudi Arabia this weekend. Are you interested in seeing Shakur Stevenson fight?
Not really.
You're not interested in Shakur Stevenson?
Nope.
What do you know about Shakur Stevenson?
That he fights a bunch of nobodies, which is why he's fighting on February the 21st or 22nd.
No, he's fighting in Rada season, in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, fighting what?
He's fighting in Saudi Arabia.
What is it?
Rider season. Rider season. That's what they call the fight.
At any rate, no, I'm not watching.
You need to tune in. It's going to be a good fight. Cleveland, how do you feel about the Four Seasons hockey tournament? And you talk about all this. Oh, they competed in the 70s. Oh, they competed in the 80s. They don't do that anymore in the NBA. What about the hockey guys who are fighting 3 seconds into the match with Canada? What do you think? Are you tuned into this yet?
Yeah, that's not ever happening in the NBA, but it's cool to watch them. Yeah, I mean, it gives pumps up the fans and stuff. It's great.
Are you interested in watching this? Are you interested in seeing the tournament that ends tomorrow night? America versus Canada, the rematch.
That'd be a good game. I'll watch some.
Are you gonna tune in?
I'll watch a little bit.
Okay. What's up with all these owners? First, it was Hal Steinbrenner saying it's difficult for owners to keep up with the Dodgers. Now he got other owners complaining about the Dodgers spending and signing contracts, signing players. Should Major League Baseball have a salary cap?
No,
they shouldn't. They shouldn't. They have the floor and just let the big markets win every year. Huh?
Big markets don't win every year.
Well, I mean they have the higher contracts every year, so
that's true. Yet, given that caveat, they don't win every year.
Yeah, but more often than not.
It's actually not true, but okay.
The Trout moving to right field, is this going to prolong his career?
No.
He still only have a couple years left.
Yeah.
Deaver's not wanting to go to third base. What do you think about that? Even though they signed Bregman.
Deaver's not wanting to leave third base. Yeah.
Not want to move from third base.
Yeah, he understands that that's what he does well, but it may be getting to the point in his career that he just needs to hit. Bregman is clearly a better fielder, so that just sounds like sour grapes, so to speak.
Who is this on? Like, shouldn't the owner, the GM, somebody have an idea with whether this player is he's a team player or not before they make this move?
No, they upgraded talent. It was kind of a no-brainer that we'll just move the better fielder at third base to third base and move the better hitter, or not necessarily even the better hitter, but someone that is a productive hitter to DH. It made perfect total sense in their mind, and it to this very second, it makes perfect total sense. It's just that the person that was playing third base before has gotten their feelings hurt, but money, solves almost all problems.
So does he get paid more or does he get traded?
They want to see how this works out with him playing DH.
Sound like a trade to me though, because if he's not gonna be happy, he ain't gonna be happy. This is like all year. This isn't like a move that they made in the mid-season.
Yeah, but this is baseball, man. You get over it, man.
You get over it?
You get over it.
Okay, interesting.
Last time I saw somebody just say, hey, that other player is going to play a different position was Derek Jeter when Alex Rodriguez came over. And he said, yeah, Alex is going to be playing third base.
I mean, is
Bergman
the caliber of
near the cachet that Derek Jeter has, right? So you might just have to just move.
Devers, you're talking about, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have that type of cachet to say like, okay, well, the player that you brought in that plays the exact same position that I am isn't going to be playing this position. He's going to be playing a different position.
But I'm just, and that's what I'm saying. Like this has to be a GM or not the manager position. The managers, I don't believe, makes these the trades and what have you. But they need to know who they're dealing with before they make that move. I would think you would, unless you plan on cutting a dude, unless you're okay with just cutting him, you need to know that he's okay with potentially moving positions. Or how he's going to respond. What's your plan to deal with that? Because now sign this high price free agent, the rest of the team may like him. The one player whose position he's going to take is not going to be happy, and I can see him causing the stink the whole year. Like, I don't see him sticking with the team. My personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. Fans, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. I need my sounding board. I got more quotes to add to my soundboard. I need my board back, fans. It's a struggle out here. It's a struggle. This relocation, Cleveland. Now I tell you, all you fans, this did not go as I planned it. But nonetheless, I'm here. We're gonna be here. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Please, it doesn't take, however you listen to the show, wherever you listen to the show, it does not take but a minute to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. If you want to leave a comment, we appreciate all the comments, feedback, criticism, comments, complaints that you have for us. Cleveland, feedback is like a gift. Have you heard that saying? Feedback is like a gift, Cleveland. And I want to thank the fans for providing their feedback or gifting me their feedback. How about that? On the show, what can we do better? How can we be better in 2025? Give us your feedback, fans. You guys take the time to tune in. Take a moment to give us some feedback. But as always, fans, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Cleveland. If I have my soundboard, I give you a round of applause, Cleveland, for being part of the show tonight. Fans, I also want to give you a round of applause for being a part of the show as well. And as fans, my message for you guys is thank you for making our voice your choice. Thank you for your time, and we will see you guys next week.